Okay, hello everybody. So let's get started for our Monday session. Before we start, let's give ourselves a little stretch like we usually do. So if you can, just stretch your arms or stand up and stretch your legs if you have been sitting down for a while. And basically make any movement that makes you feel good and allows you to find a comfortable sitting position. And once you feel nice and comfortable in your body sitting down, preferably with your feet flat on the floor, then when you're ready, close your eyes. And now let's first bring our attention and focus into our feet, pressing our feet into the ground and feeling the connection between our feet and the floor. And as you do that, just imagine that you're grounding yourself, that you're anchoring your energy into the earth. And once you've done that, now let's move our attention and focus from our feet all the way up into our chest, and more specifically in the center of our chest where our heart is, our energetic heart. And here, let's connect with the heart for a moment. To do that, you can either place a hand over the heart if that helps. If that helps to feel this area of your chest. Or else you can tune in a little bit more subtly into hearing or sensing the sounds or sensations of your heart beating in your chest. And once you're starting to experience, to feel that connection with your heart, you can just now imagine as if your breath is flowing in and out directly through the heart. And here, you just keep breathing like you do normally from your nose. Keep your breath steady. Don't hold your breath anywhere. Now your tummy keeps expanding and contracting as you breathe in and out. But you just imagine as if your breath flows into the heart when you breathe in and out from the heart when you breathe out. It's just to help keep our focus in the heart. And with the focus onto the heart, now we're going to start breathing a little bit deeper and a little bit slower than we usually do, in a steady rhythm. An ideal rhythm would be about inhaling in about 5 seconds and exhaling in the same 5 seconds. But if your rhythm is a little bit slower or a little bit deeper, it's perfect as well. Just gives you an idea of the type of rhythm that we're looking for. And so let's do that for a bit longer. Breathing in and out slowly, a little bit deeper than usual, in a rhythm that's steady. And while you do that, you're still focused on your heart, as if your breath flows in and out through the heart. And then let's breathe like this for at least another 1 minute in silence. And I'll let you know when we're ready to move on. Okay, so you might notice already a sense of calm, little bit of quiet coming over you as you breathe in that slow rhythm. That's exactly what we're looking for. And in that moment, in that space of quiet, we're going to first remind ourselves of the direction that we want to have for our future. So just remind yourself, what's your trajectory that you aim to be on for the future? What's in sight for you? Whether it's your vision for your life, if that's clear, or maybe a little bit shorter term goals or projects that you have in your life right now that you're working on. But generally speaking, just remind yourself where you're heading. Look towards the future and remind yourself of where you want to be in this future. Okay. And now we're going to start contemplating the recent past. We're going to contemplate what happened just last week so that then we can compare what happened last week and see if it's already onto the right trajectory for our goals and vision. So just now, If you can, just imagine as if you're turning towards the past in your mind's eyes. If that helps, you can also imagine as if you're floating above your timeline, floating above last week, as if you could have a bird's eye view, an outsider view on everything that happened for you. And here you can contemplate all the areas of your life that are important to you. Or if it feels more appropriate for you, you want to choose one area of your life that's more relevant right now, you can also do that. In any case, just look at last week and we're going to contemplate what worked well and what didn't work as well as we wanted to. So just welcome all of the information and notice what worked well that you want to keep and nurture and expand on in the future. Everything that worked well that you want to keep, that you want more of. And also notice everything that didn't work as well as you wanted. And think of those as the things you'd rather change, the things you'd rather let go of, the things that you want less of in your life. Just imagine as if you're floating above last week, everything that happened, including how you were feeling yourself, how you're treating yourself as well, that's important. And look at what works and what doesn't work. Look at what has worked already, and maybe what keeps insisting on not working. And these can be results, this can be quality of relationships that are working or not. This can be your own behaviors or ways of being, attitudes. This can be outcomes, but this can also be the journeys that lead to outcomes. And notice sometimes you get the outcome, but the journey to the outcome is painful. And sometimes it's the opposite. We're disappointed because we don't get the result. But the journey was very pleasant and enriching. So just notice as well. Let's do this for another 2 minutes in silence. Contemplating last week. Okay, we're just looking at last week, what worked well, what didn't. in all the areas of your life that are important. What's working, what's not working. What brings you already satisfaction, what doesn't. Okay, another minute contemplating. Okay, so we're now going to finish this part of the past contemplation by asking ourselves one simple question. If last week, our version of last week, was to repeat itself over and over into the future, would that actually bring us closer to our vision for the future? Or is it bringing us off track? So here doesn't need to be very precise of an answer. It's more like a general sense. If nothing changes, basically, are you already on a trajectory that is aligned with the vision that you have for your future, for your goals? Or is it not? And even if it's aligned, you might also notice maybe it's aligned, but it's not moving, or it's not moving fast enough to your taste. It seems like a little bit too stationary. So just notice that as well. If a version of last week is repeating itself in the future, does that help you to progress in alignment towards your goals and vision for the future, or does it not? And if it doesn't, or not enough, you're in the right place. That's what we're working on, improving and changing. So we're going to start now this part. This is the fun part of this session. We're going to now start the course correction if need be, or the acceleration. And to do that, we are going to first invite our imagination, summon or command your imagination to come play with you. And now we're going to imagine the best possible version of the week that is starting today. Starting this Monday for the whole week. what does this week can look like, sound like, and feel like, with all of the best possible scenarios and outcomes. And to do that, we're usually starting by imagining ourselves first. Imagining ourselves at our best. When we are motivated, when we have energy, when we feel inspired, when we make decisions with ease, when we take action. So just take a moment to imagine yourself in a flow, a powerful, positive flow of creativity, action, generosity. And now, when you're in such a state, what are you creating? What are you making happen this week? And allow your imagination to give you a picture, to give you sensations, to give you sounds. What does the week look like, feels like, sounds like when we're in the flow, when we're at our best? Allow yourself to imagine. Give yourself the time to imagine yourself in the flow. And look at everything that you're generating. And as you imagine yourself, as you see, feel, hear everything that you're making happen, of course you notice, you know you're not on your own. There are people living, working around you. So as you imagine yourself, gently also start to imagine how you impact these people around you, how your flow is impacting their life, their work. Just noticing how the week looks like, feels like, sounds like, with your flow of energy overflowing to people around you, as if your flow has a ripple effect on everyone around. Then you might imagine also what might happen for them, how they in turn impact the people around them, who impact the people around them, who impact the people around them. Just get a sense of this wave of positive flow that you've generated and that ripple through circles after circle after circle of people. Give yourself a little bit of time to imagine that. When you're in the flow, what do you make happen? What are you creating? And how does your flow overflows into people around you? And keep visualizing yourself in the flow. And now notice everything that is happening indirectly into your life as a result of the flow that you've generated among people around you. How it might generate opportunities that are reaching you through other people. How it might generate different type of relationships, how it might generate better connection, better communication, how it might create new collaborations, how it might generate doors opening for you and others. Just allow your imagination to visualize, imagine all the opportunities that are now coming back in your life, in your awareness, as a result of the flow that you've generated, the flow that traveled through layers and layers of other humans. And now, indirectly, you're seeing opportunities, you're seeing synchronicities, you're seeing new possibilities that might seem to appear out of the blue, but they're in fact connected in a way to the influx of positive energy that you have generated yourself. So allow yourself to imagine maybe decisions are being made that are in your best interest and for the best of everyone involved. Maybe there are projects that are being initiated that you had never heard of, but that are now making their way to your awareness. Maybe there are people extending their hand to you in offer for connections, for collaboration, for opportunities. So when that happens, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? It's as if you have woven a web of positive energy that is somehow now coming back with a set of fresh possibilities into your life. Allow yourself, have fun imagining what that could look like. Okay. And as you imagine all of this, you imagine to the best of your imagination's capabilities right now. So let's set an intention, knowing that there are many more other possibilities available than the ones we are able to imagine right now. So let's set that intention that if, when possibilities are entering our awareness that we don't recognize straight away because they look very unfamiliar, let's set that intention that we will still recognize them for what they are, and we will still welcome them in our life, in our experience. Even opportunities and possibilities that look wildly different from what we are able to imagine right now, we are still open. We will recognize them and we will welcome them into our lives. So just setting that intention. That way, we are also detaching from knowing or from expecting opportunities to show up a certain way. So we are basically saying, yes, I imagine the best that I'm able to right now, but I'm open for even better. I am open for different. I am open for more. Okay, and now let's pay attention to how we are feeling. We've just imagined the best possible version of the week. How does that feel? Remember, your mind doesn't really know the difference between real or imagined. So right now, it is all very real. How does that feel in your body? And maybe you know very well. Maybe you can name those feelings, they're familiar. Or maybe not, maybe you just feel something, but you're not quite sure what it is. In any case, we're just going to build up on it. So, starting from what you're feeling right now, I'm going to invite you now to visualize or imagine as if these sensations are also flowing in and out through your heart with each breath. So that every time you inhale, these sensations flow into yourself from your heart so that you can feel them with more intensity inside of yourself. And then on your exhale, these sensations flow out from your heart and they radiate out into the space around you and in front of you, as if they're illuminating the room that you're in. So on your in-breath, the sensations, you can feel them more and more inside yourself, whatever they are. And every time you breathe out, these sensations are like a vibration, a light that radiate out from your heart into the space around you and in front of you. Inhale, feel the sensations into yourself. Exhale, radiate sensations into the space. And every time, with each cycle of breath, the energy of these sensations becomes stronger and stronger. In a few cycles of breath, they will be so strong, you will barely be able to contain them. On each inhale, they're making all parts of you vibrate, resonate to their frequency. And on your out breath, they're so strong, so powerful. Their energy is so intense that it's turning into a laser beam flowing out from your heart. Very intense energy. And now, with your imagination again, I'm going to invite you to visualize, imagine that now the energy of these sensations is so strong that they're shooting out from your heart with such intensity that this, like a laser beam, is carving a portal into the space right in front of you. From your heart, this laser beam is cutting out a pathway into space. And as it turns out, this pathway, this doorway, this portal is not just a portal through space, it's also a portal through time. And on the other side of this portal is the new version of the week that is starting today. A version of your timeline, a version of reality that is holding all the possibilities that you've imagined and beyond. A version of reality where all these possibilities are available to you, to your awareness. And you're going to prepare now to step into this new reality. So now, in your mind's eyes, just imagine as if you're standing up, taking a few steps towards the portal, slowly putting one foot through and then the other foot through. And this is it. You're on the other side of the portal. And as you've stepped in, you're just feeling, noticing that behind you the portal is closing down. The portal has closed down, and with it, the pathway from the past has dissolved. It's only you and this new version of reality now. So just take a moment to take some deeper breath again, allowing you to connect and enjoy connecting with this new version of reality. Allow yourself to connect on each in-breath, breathing in these connections and breathing out gratitude, breathing in, connecting, breathing out gratitude. Knowing that you have stepped into this new version of reality, and as usual, let's anchor ourselves into it. Let's create this anchor that we can use again during the week to remind ourselves of this new version of time and space. So now let's take our thumb and index finger on the right side, right hand. Press your fingers together. Notice the point of pressure between your fingers. How does it feel like when you're pressing them together? And release. And now do the same with your left hand, thumb and index finger together, pressing them together. Noticing the sensations of pressure between your fingers. And now doing it both hands at the same time. Pressing your fingers against each other and finding the point of perfect similar pressure on the fingers, between the fingers of the right hand and the left hand. As you do this, it's as if you're trying to split your mind's attention equally between your right and left hand, finding the point of pressure, same pressure on both sides. And as you do this, your mind has no choice but to be fully present and to finding this point of equilibrium. And as it's fully present, it has no choice but to let go of the grip from the past. Your mind has now no choice but to let go of anything from the past that doesn't serve you. It's unlearning everything from the past that does not contribute to your progression forward. And as you keep your focus on your fingers, finding that point of equal pressure, your mind is 100% present. Your mind has no choice but to be 100% present right here, right now, fully accepting of this new version of time and space. Your mind is now fully aligned, fully present in this new version of reality. And at any time during the week, when and if you need it, all you need to do is press your fingers and thumbs on both hands together, finding that point of equal pressure, and each time your mind will get back on track, allowing you to stay connected with this new version of reality, this new version of the week. So you can now release your anchor, and we're going to slowly bring ourselves back. To do that, rub your hands together until they're warm. Place them at the top of your head. And from here, we're going to touch every part of our body as if we want to remind ourselves of its own boundaries. So starting by the head, scalp, and face, and down the neck, down the shoulders and the arms, and then back on the shoulders this time, touching the front of the body, torso and abdomen, and then touching from underneath the armpit, down the rib cage and the ribs, and the hips. And then as much as you can, touching the back from the top to the bottom of the spine. And then the legs from top of the hips, thighs, knees, legs, and feet, if we can. If you can touch your feet, it's great, but if you cannot, it's okay too. Just press your feet into the ground again, feeling the point of contact with your feet and the floor. And again, grounding yourself, imagining, feeling your energy anchoring itself into the earth. And this time sending a wave of gratitude to the earth as well for allowing our own existence into this plane. And on these words, we're finished for today, so you can open your eyes whenever you feel ready. And just get ready for a great week. Remember to use your anchor if you feel you need it. And I'll see you next week for the next, for our next upgrade. Let's keep working on getting us to our vision. And on this note, have a good time. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Bye, everybody.